This podcast is for the ones who know they were rescued, but also know they were resent, saved by grace, sent to live different. We're not rebelling against God, we're rebelling against everything that keeps us from Him. We'll talk faith, identity, purpose, leadership, and what it really looks like to follow Jesus in a loud world. Welcome to the Daily Rebel. Welcome back, day 2 of the Daily Rebel. We're in a series called Taming the Tongue out of James chapter 3. And today's episode is called The Power That Directs. So let's look at the text, James chapter 3, verses 2 through 4. It says this: we all stumble in many ways. If anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is mature, able also to control the whole body. Now, if we put bits into the mouth of horses so that they obey us, we direct their whole bodies. And consider ships. Though very large and driven by fierce winds, they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So yesterday, James warns about the weight of our words. Today, he shows us why the tongue matters so much. Because something very small can steer something very large. The tongue may be small, but it directs the direction of your life. So the great Bible teacher, Warren Wiersbe, called this the power that directs. Meaning the tongue doesn't just reveal the heart, it steers the course of life. And James gives us 2 vivid pictures to prove it in the text: a horse and a ship. And so these are really 2 images of control. James begins with an honest confession that we all stumble in many ways. Lord have mercy. That you put my name with an asterisk there, that this cat, Derek Griffon, stumbles in many ways, because he does. And that word stumble means to fall, to fail, to slip. So James is really leveling the room, that no one has perfect speech. But then he says something striking. He says if anyone or if someone can control the tongue, they can control their whole body. Why? Because the tongue directs everything else. And then James gives us, again, he talks about a horse. Well, a horse is powerful. Y'all, I actually ran into a horse in my car, my 1999 Toyota Camry back in 2012, and that horse totaled my vehicle. I came out alive, praise Jesus. But a horse is very powerful being. Strong, they're fast, but a small bit in its mouth actually can direct that entire animal. The second image is a ship. Ships are massive, driven by powerful winds and waves, yet a tiny rudder determines the direction. You see, small instrument, massive impact. James says the tongue works the same way. It may be small, but it steers the direction of your life. So let me give y'all 3 points. Here we go. Here's the 3 points I'm going to give y'all today. Number 1, small things can steer big lives. Small things can steer big lives. A bit is small, a rudder is small, but they determine direction. The tongue is the same way. A few words can change a relationship. A few words can shape a child. A few words can build courage or crush someone's spirit. Small words, but massive impact. And Redeemed Rebels, we need to understand something very important, that the smallest parts of life often determine the biggest outcomes. So here's some handles. Before you speak, ask, where will these words steer this moment? Because words always move things somewhere. Here's number 2. While small things can steer big lives, number 2 is this, is that the tongue reveals who is holding the reins. The tongue reveals who is holding the reins. So in both of James' illustrations, something controls the instrument. A rider holds the reins. A pilot steers the rudder. The question isn't just what you say. The deeper question is this: who is steering your life? Is your emotions, if your emotions steer your tongue, your life will follow your emotions. If anger steers your tongue, your life will follow anger. But when the Spirit steers your heart, your words begin to follow Him. That's why getting into the Word so the Word gets into you is so important. Redeemed Rebels, listen, we don't let our feelings steer our mouths. We let the Spirit guide our speech. So again, small things, number 1, small things can steer big lives. The tongue reveals who is holding the reins in your life. And number 3, direction determines destination. Heard a pastor say this one time: direction determines destination. James is showing us something powerful. The tongue doesn't just reveal where you are, it influences where you're going. A ship doesn't arrive somewhere by accident. A horse doesn't wander randomly, unless, of course, it's walking onto a road at 2 a.m. in the morning and hitting Toyota Camrys. Anyway, a horse doesn't wander randomly. It's going somewhere. Direction determines destination. Your words shape your direction. Speak bitterness long enough and bitterness becomes your path. Speak life long enough and life becomes your culture. I'm going to say that again. So if you speak life, or if you speak bitterness long enough, bitterness becomes your path. or your path. You speak life long enough, life becomes your culture. So your mouth is not just expressing your life, it's steering your life. So speak scripture out loud, speak encouragement often, pause before reacting, because direction is determined one word at a time. And James gives us these two pictures, a bit and a rudder. Both small, both powerful, both directing something bigger than themselves. And he says the tongue works the same way. Your words are steering something. The question is, redeemed rebel, is where are they steering your life? Because redeemed rebels understand something powerful. The tongue may be small, but it directs the direction of life. We'll see you back here tomorrow on The Daily Rebel. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Before you go, if you want to help other people be equipped to be redeemed rebels, give us a follow and share it around with your friends. We'll see you next time.